G'day guys, and welcome back to the Ugg Boot Investor. Today I'm going to walk you through the spiral of success. But before we jump into it, I want to introduce you to two graphs that are really important. The first one comes from the World Economic Forum, and as you can see here, the top 10% of the global population owns 76% of the global economic wealth as of the end of 2021. Meanwhile, on the other side of the spectrum, the bottom 50% own only 2% of the wealth. The second graph I want to take you to comes from the Australian Bureau of Statistics, and it really talks fundamentally about where retirement income is sourced from. If you have a look at this graph, what you can see is that for Australians, the top 20% of the retirees from a wealth perspective have the majority of their income come from two sources. The first source is their investment income, and the second source is their retirement fund. For in Australia, that's superannuation. Meanwhile, on the flip side, the bottom 20% has almost all of their income come from government support. Now, it's critically important that the government does support these people, and I am pro that. However, what I am saying is that how do we get ourselves into a position that we're not reliant on the government's help to support our lifestyle in retirement? And so that's where the spiral of success comes from. So let's take a quick look at it. You can see a spiral here. The moment that you start earning an income, your spiral starts. The spiral line represents wealth or savings, and the width of your spiral represents income. So to explain how this works is that as the spiral starts in the center and it continues to grow outwards as you save money, you get to a point where you can do something with that money. Most wealthy people choose to invest that money in some form or another. So let's say, for example, that you're able to, regardless of your income, save $20,000 per year for the rest of your life. After the first year, you have $20,000, the spiral has started to grow. If you take that $20,000 and purchase an investment or an asset of any kind, it doesn't matter. What's important is that the asset itself produces an income. If the asset costs you money to hold, that $20,000 savings in next year, a portion of it needs to go to support the asset that you're holding. So you may not have $20,000 in savings next year, you may have $18,000. If you continue to purchase assets that cost you money to hold, your savings will reduce, or in other words, your income reduces. So what happens is the spiral grows, you purchase an asset, and then it decreases because you're no longer able to produce as much savings. Inversely, if you save $20,000 a year and that $20,000 is used to purchase an investment that makes you 10%, then the next year you're able to save your $20,000 plus $2,000 that investment was able to produce for you. So year one, $20,000 savings. Year two, $20,000 plus two, $22,000 savings. Now at the end of year two, you're able to take that $22,000 and invest that at 10%. So the following year, you get $2,200 as investment income from that asset. So year three, you have $20,000 savings plus your $2,000 from the first asset you purchased, plus $2,200 from your second asset. What you can see here is that the spiral starts to grow slowly. Now, it's important that you start slowly and not quickly because it represents how well you can control income. If you start small, learn the fundamentals of controlling the asset itself, you're able to handle bigger and bigger assets as time goes on. You start to set systems in place. You start to have processes. You now understand how the fundamentals of that asset class actually works. Now, here's the kicker. It's not about instantaneously all of a sudden replacing your income. It's about gradually learning and doing this over a period of time. What's really powerful is the compounding effect that this has. So for example, you're able to save $20,000 for the rest of your life every year. If you do what we're talking about with the numbers that I've given you, after 10 years, the income that you receive from the savings of all of your investments plus your $20,000 is $47,000. After 20 years, it's $122,000. After 30 years, it's $300,000. And that starts from humble beginnings and understanding that the asset itself needs to contribute to your personal portfolio and your wealth creation. So this is how the spiral of success works. It goes both ways. You need to understand that. It goes forward if you know how to create additional income and grow your savings so that you can grow your wealth. But it also goes backwards. If you're purchasing assets that cost you money, your spiral growth slows down and eventually decreases. Bear that in mind next time you're looking at purchasing an asset. I hope this has helped you on your journey. This is part 1. Part 2, we'll look at some numbers so that you can see how this works in a little bit more detail. Thank you for sticking around, and we'll see you next time.